I just saw a clip of Mark Sargent and Orphan Red. Well, they are throwing one Sonic hand sign after another. Take a look.
I'm going to delve into some related conspiracy theories to the flat Earth for a little bit. Just to explore kind of the boundaries of where these ideas meet ideas. And my goal.
Partial sounds, Alice through the looking glass, follow the rainbow, Ice White Shot, the Wizard of Oz, Pink Floyd, partial sounds.
More so in other places.
Don't do that.
So we are celebrating Mark's increasing fame and exposure. He's made the news in the UK newspapers now as
Yeah, infamously, yeah, the UK has been running stories on our website.
and they have brought it together, so it's somewhere.
Maybe right here. Right here.
So to celebrate, I brought gifts all the way from Canada.
Wow, all the way to Canada. What most people don't know is she's only she's less than 2 hours from the border, from here.
It was a roundabout way.
Well, yeah, driving in California and back.
It's very important about San Francisco. You understand, Satanic Church was founded in San Francisco. The gay capital of the world is in San Francisco. They got a pyramid building. The Trans-American building is a pyramid building. This is one of the most occultic cities in the world. And Bohemian Grove is located very close to San Francisco. So again, you have something going on with this, and I believe some ritual will take place. And all the signs are there.
So on my way back from San Francisco,
Well, I look like a cross between a bridge troll,
They have a troll / demon on the Bay Bridge. And that was placed on the side of the Bay Bridge right after the 1989 earthquake. And they say the ironwork is put on there without permission. Would these guys risk their job by putting this demon on the side of the bridge? And the officials said, oh, it's on there, and we're just going to let it stay. And then with the new construction, they added a new demon, a new troll to the bridge.
Had this opportunity to give a temporary home to
Well, I look like a cross between a bridge troll,
At the time, and now it all totally makes sense. Mark Sargent is much taller than I expected him to be. He's quite tall actually, he's 6'2". It's very kind of, that's a little bit of rare. Also, he is quite charming and very kind and gentlemanly, and made me feel quite welcome, and gave me a beautiful gift, and also a glass of water. He was very gentlemanly, very charming. Mark Sargent, in person, how's it going on? And I know we all know that he's very well spoken, and he has this very nice radio voice. And on his Strange World radio show with Jonathan, and on his secret shows with Patricia Steer, he just does, he's very self-deprecating in his humor. And so to meet him in person, you expect what he tells us that he is. So on my way back from San Francisco,
Here's something very important about San Francisco. People understand. The Satanic Church was founded in San Francisco. The gay capital of the world is in San Francisco. They got a pyramid building. The Trans-American building is a pyramid building. This is one of the most occult.
Let's look at Northern California. You understand? You know what's happening in San Francisco. San Francisco just gone. It's clear over. I know that, but it isn't just down in the ratty part of town. But the upper class of San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend on time to time, the Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd that goes in. It's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
Say over what they will. The paper explainer last night, as I say, for instance, you know, Jamie, there's a few characters who've been doing the rounds, presenting the academic sort of rebuttals to flat Earth in an intelligible manner. Because I am easily in any fair and open argument, you know, but this is what it's descended to in terms of debating. Okay, let me, how you doing? I am easily in any fair and open. Let me, how you doing? Hello, Orphan Red, how you doing?
I'm well, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Let me go on my camera there since you've done me the same privilege. To see me probably won't be a privilege, Sasha.
I turned my camera off. Today's topic of conversation will be, why do we call it the Blue Lodge? And this is from an article that was written by Brother Blake Bowden, Satayom Kirk.
Okay. Well, I'll just briefly then. I'll flash you if you flash me, Sasha. How about that? Okay.
If you want proof of my identity, here I am. This is me.
So how you doing?
Well,
I haven't spoken to you before. Have you still got the dodo up on your wall?
First of all, I don't know what the dodo is. Secondly, the frisbee that you mentioned was a gift from a flat earther, and I put it on my wall for a few videos as a way of saying, you know, thank you. But no, now I have a different background. So I'm going to take the video off, and then we can continue, because I don't think I have the bandwidth, so
That's
it'll
good.
just drop.
So excellent. Okay, excellent. I'll do the same. Well, the dodo is my avatar there, but that's a very interesting story in itself, Sasha. So it wouldn't be probably appropriate to start off that story at this juncture. You're not going to be here very long, right?
No.
Okay, well, so I've offended you.
Well, you have offended me. People in chat have offended me. Someone said, oh, draw a picture of Sasha, and someone replied, just draw a dirty tampon.
Oh, well, gosh.
Like, what the hell kind of a response can you expect when that's how I'm treated by your audience, your subscribers, your followers, and it's reinforced by your mockery of me, your put downs of my character. So you're in a lot of ways not just enabling it, but in some ways encouraging it, because it feeds this cycle of, rather than find amusement in sharing things that are joyfully positive that initiate laughter, we find amusement by putting people down and laughing at them. That's a culture that you create of finding amusement by putting other people down. And it's ugly and it's disgusting and it makes the world uglier, but that's the culture that you create when you do what you do, which is make those kinds of comments about Orphan Red, about myself, about my breasts, about my personality, about my character, about my voice, you're creating that ugliness in the world rather than finding ways of finding things that you could enjoy and laugh about with me that are positive, that are based on happiness.
How insane is this bitch? She's like, you guys are so negative. Why don't you be positive and do positive things? Like, who the fuck is she to determine what the fuck? Like, I think it's positive for people to put her down because she's obviously involved in some secret society. She's connected to Mark Sargent and this flat Earth psyop. She's a complete psycho. Like, you heard her talk about like Islam and like Christianity. She's got like mental problems, man. But she wants to be like extremely judgmental towards everyone else, and then if you try and judge her, she'll like make you put you on this fucking weird guilt trip. She's so fucking weird and illogical.
So that's why I come into this feeling slightly defensive, to be honest. I'm sure you can understand that.
Absolutely, Sasha. Well, first of all, this isn't my hangout, so if you were directing all that at me, let you know that
I'm directing it at both of you, because even though this isn't your hangout, you're both complicit. You're both participating in this culture. You're both creating the culture by your remarks and by your tolerance of those types of remarks and by laughing at that type of humor. So whether or not it's your hangout, you're still complicit in that.
Okay, well, let me say...
We create the culture that we live in.
Look how desperate she is to like tie Pete and Jamie, make them responsible for what people in the chat room are saying to her. Like, come on. This girl will never take responsibility for anything she does and put all the blame on her opponents every time she debates. Every time. Never seen her take responsibility for anything.
We can't blame the culture, blame other people. Our actions create that kind of, those norms of behavior for our own social groups.
Yeah, you don't have to lecture me, Sasha. Let me say I have been paying no attention to what's going on in the chat. I generally don't. When I come in here, it's to have a conversation with Jamie, and pretty much Jamie alone. And I've stressed this so many different times. I'm not out for any audience. And in some of these conversations we've been having, great progress has been made because of the openness of the conversation. Now, when I commented on you, and you know that I've commented on your channel as well, so I've said pretty much the same thing, but in a very limited sense. I have respect for all people, and especially respect for women, but you are painting a picture, and for me to try and analyze what that picture is presenting, well, we have to go into some detail. But I am also always aware of my own, I guess, my own intent. We know the insidious nature, in one sense, of flat Earth, right, and flat Earth inquiry. We are aware that it has been infected, or not infiltrated, I guess is a better word, from the very get-go. So there is a suspicious nature around everything, and this is a problem. So in order to discuss something, you can't deny something that the anagram is at least true, right?
No, the anagram is not true. That's just a sign of your perversion. I'm sure you could find positive words that you can create from the letters in Orphan Red, but you don't choose to do that. You choose to look for the most perverted words you can find. Porny is spelled with a Y, not an E. So like even your anagram fails. So you're having to make stuff up in order for the anagram to make it say the perverted words that you want it to say. Porny is spelled P-O-R-N-Y. There's no Y in Orphan Red. So what you've had to do is you've had to make up nonsense so that your perversion can somehow stand. And I find that offensive, because rather than try to find a positive, what is Orphan Red an anagram of that's a positive, that's life-affirming? Right? But you don't do that. You spend your time rearranging the letters of my character name to find something ugly. You're looking for ugly, and when you can't find it, you you substitute in letters that aren't even there.
She's got the red and blue motif too going on in her avatar there. Red Lodge, Blue Lodge of Freemasonry.
To make it ugly. And I find that disgusting.
Right, okay.
Because you're looking for dirty and you're making it dirty. And you're making the world uglier as a consequence of that choice.
Hang on, what else do you know about me, Orphan Red?
Very little.
Right, so you're making all of these rash judgments. Now, first of all...
No, I'm not making rash judgments out of what I don't know about you.
Is Orphan Red not an anagram of hard, porn, as in electronic porn, right?
No. Orphan Red is based on Orphan Black, a BBC TV show based on a book called Sophie to the Infinite Power. And it's about a girl who's cloned. And the one actress plays all these different characters. And even though they have the same genetic material, the different environments that they're in shapes their personal development. And so each character is different. It's a different facet of one genetic code of expression. And I find that fascinating. And when I was creating my channel, I wasn't creating it to do flat earth content because I wasn't a flat earther when I created Orphan Red. When I created my channel, I wanted to do different characters exploring truth and exploring meaning and how our environments shape our development.
She likes genetics like Jed, and she hangs out with Jed.
And so I chose the name Orphan Red based on that. But instead of and I've talked about it in my interviews, instead of looking into it, doing even the most fundamental research, instead of even just reaching out to me on a personal level and asking me, you make up some nonsense about pornography because that's what you're obsessed with. That's what I find disgusting and offensive.
First of all, you can't deny that Orphan Red is an anagram of hard porn. Whether that's your intention or not, that's irrelevant. I'm just saying.
But it has nothing, like, no, but
so what about, so my next question is, what about...
That doesn't even make sense. E-porn?
It does. Electronic porn. This is all about electronic communication.
There's no such thing as electronic porn. It's just pornography on the internet.
No. Well, you have paper... It doesn't matter. Forget about that. My point is, well, if that's the origins of Orphan Red, where did Orphan Blue come about? And also, if I do tune into Orphan Blue's videos, what sort of thought should I be having, Sasha?
Orphan Blue I created much more recently, and again it uses the Orphan Blue based on the Orphan Black BBC show about a character about a woman that takes on all these different characteristics based on her environment, and that's the expression of self that changes due to different selective pressures. When I started Orphan Blue as a channel, I made it separate from Orphan Red. I didn't just start uploading content to Orphan Red that might offend people. I started a different channel for a different audience. And what I wanted to do with Orphan Blue, I wanted to talk about meaning, intimacy, sexuality as something sacred, something beautiful, something about bonding and trust that I feel is lacking in our society. I think our society is so saturated with pornography and casual sex that all the intimacy has been stripped away from sex and all the meaning of sensuality has been stripped away, and the bonding and trusting experiences of sex and sensuality have been gutted out of sexual acts. And so what I wanted to do was talk about the beauty and meaning and sexuality and have open discussions about how do we, in a world where we're bombarded with this pornographic, perverted sexuality, how do we hold on to sacred sexuality? And how do we experience beautiful, intimate sensuality? How do we go about doing that? That's what I wanted to explore with Orphan Blue. But unfortunately, there were too many porn-addicted, sado perverts, and I ended up having to remove all the videos, put them all to private, because it's gone too far.
It's a risky venture you went into. Listen, I absolutely agree with you. The love has been taken out of lovemaking. And different occasion to find out your point of view on it. And it's all about, for the male, the retention and I guess redirection of the potent fluids or the seminal fluids. You know, and it's only by succumbing, if you forgive the term, to temptation that we rid ourselves of this. And this is what all the porn is about. All the temptation is everywhere, right? So it's by overcoming these temptations of the flesh, that we can sort of imbue and redirect all of this vital fluid. You know, to a big degree then.
Come on.
Escape from this shackles world.
I disagree with you on that. I think that you're wrong. I think that it's the exchange of sexual fluids that adds a chemical level to the bonding between individuals. So, for example, science has found that semen acts as an antidepressant for women, and that there are anti-aging properties in semen for women when they're having unsafe sex, so there's no barrier. And there are chemicals in the fluid that women secrete during sex that men also absorb. And so to me, I think you're completely wrong about your approach. I actually think that the exchange of sexual fluids between two people, chemical level, it enhances the bonding experiences. It enhances the oxytocin release, which is not just related to bonding, but also to trust and also to feelings of happiness in a peaceful way, like a satisfied happiness, not a dopamine happiness, which is different. Anyway, so I actually think that you're wrong. I think that people who are having meaningful, sacred, intimate sex should benefit from the exchange of fluids. What you're talking about is masturbating and to porn that is meaningless, and then that's a different thing. So I wasn't looking, like, if you can, people masturbate to anything and everything. People masturbate to the checkout girl at the grocery store who's all covered up in her grocery store outfit because they have a crush on her. So it doesn't, people in countries where all you see is a woman's eyes through her veil masturbate to ideas of the woman behind the veil because her eyes were, so well lined, or they made a little of illicit eye contact for a moment, and so they will masturbate about her. They don't even know what she looks like. All they have is her eyes.
Have you ever done that, Sasha?
I don't masturbate to women in veils. No, but my point is this. It doesn't matter how much you cover up your women. Men will still find them desirable and will still think about them in desirable ways. The onus is on you to choose not to masturbate if you don't feel that that's a healthy...
See what I'm saying? Shifting the blame. Oh, it's not my fault I sit here with my tits out. It's your fault for masturbating to me.
Engagement of your time. The onus is not on society to cover up women. It's not for me, because even if I cover every inch of my skin, if you find me interesting and if we flirt and if you find me desirable, you're still going to think about me while you masturbate.
See, like, listen to this logic. So, like, well, it doesn't matter if I'm half naked or completely covered up, because you could masturbate to me either way. See the logic there?
So it's on you to not masturbate. It's not on me to cover every inch of my skin to not tempt you. Like, you have to be an adult. That's the difference between the Muslim world and the Western world. In the Western world, the individual...
That's the difference. That's the major difference, guys.
Individual is responsible for their choices. In the Muslim world, women are responsible for not eliciting in you what you need to strengthen. Like, it's not I'm eliciting lust, it's that you're choosing to focus on that. Even if all you saw was my mouth, or if all you saw was my eye, if you were to fall in love with my personality, then just seeing my eye makes you think my personality, you'd still get off on that. So it's nonsense.
This is the type of bitch to wear these fucking cleavage shirts, right, with her big ass titties, and then, like, she'll be talking to some guy and she'll be like, "Are you looking at my tits?" It's like, well, no shit, you got them hanging out, you fucking cunt.
And it's pretense. It's just about blaming other people for your weakness, and I think that's not going to make you stronger. If you don't want to masturbate to me, then don't do it. It's not about me covering up.
What business?
Like I said, it's like the grocery store woman who's wearing an ugly.
What did I say at the beginning? Like, this bitch won't take responsibility for any goddamn thing she does. Cat Earth was on a hangout, like, Orphan, you know, your videos convinced me the Earth was flat and you were deceiving me. And she just was like, oh, well, that's your responsibility because you're an idiot. You should be smarter. It's not my fault I made deceitful videos. Like, she's so fucking mental. She cannot take blame for anything. Cat Earth is like, but Orphan Red, this guy's wife is gonna leave him over Flat Earth. And she's like, oh, that's his personal fault. I'm gonna continue to push a lie. What a psycho.
Outfit that covers her up to here. If you have a crush on her, you're still gonna fantasize about her while you're getting off to her.
What do you, let's switch it to women. Forget about men. What do you know about men and what men think? Only in a very general way, surely, Sasha, as you're not a man. Well, can the situation be reversed and applied to you as well?
In what way?
Well, I mean, do you see a guy in a pool, a pair of Speedos or something and masturbate to him? Is this how it works with females?
No, I don't masturbate to a man in Speedos.
Aroused by somebody who is fully clothed or in a certain type of suit? Or
she totally masturbates to men in Speedos.
Suit, who has a triangular shape, broad shoulders, kind of a narrow waist.
She thinks Mark Sargent is hot. Of course she's gonna masturbate to a dude in Speedo.
Narrow hips, who's intelligent, who's kind, who's brilliant. Then
okay, he needs Speedos in a library book, but we good to go.
That's the kind of thing that I'll fantasize about.
This is where the eyes and the suit sort of come together, right? Because you can't tell all of this from a suit. This is why the eyes are so appealing. When a woman is covered up, your imagination kicks in, and then you craft all of these qualities around the picture that you build and masturbate over, if you so.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you're imagining breasts that you've never seen, or if you're imagining breasts that you've seen cleavage of. There's no difference. You're choosing to imagine the breasts in order to get yourself off. That's on you. That's not on me. I can cover myself completely, and if you want to, you can still imagine my breasts and fantasize about them while you're getting yourself off. So this idea of blaming me for showing cleavage is utterly ridiculous, because in order to conform to that kind of society where women have to take responsibility for your lustful urges, then we have to move to Saudi Arabia where women are completely covered, because that's the only way. And even then it won't work. Even then you're going to fantasize about her eyes and her veil, and you're going to create an imaginary body of her that you'll fantasize to and get yourself off to. So this is just a way of
what are they fucking
reducing
talking
your
about?
Guilt by removing the responsibility
oh my
of
God.
your lust.
Orphan, stop trying to put everyone on a fucking guilt trip. Oh my, I know you're a woman and it's your nature, but fuck. You don't have to do, this is what you do to your boyfriend, not dudes on a hangout.
And your fantasies and your masturbation from yourself and forcing it onto me. That's irresponsible and it's childish. You're an adult male, and take responsibility for your own lust and your own desires and what you do with it. You can think of something else. If you don't want to masturbate about me, don't go to my Orphan Blue channel. Or better yet, don't think about me when you're alone late at night. Read a book. Think about something else. Write a poem.
I don't think I ever have. I think you're projecting somehow, Sasha.
So then why are you complaining about Orphan Blue? Why are you asking me about Orphan Blue? Like, if you've never looked at it, then why does it bother you if it's not part of your
Maybe
life?
I'll make a video where I jerk off to her.
Or maybe I misheard. I'm not asking anything. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I'm not asking.
Better? No, wait a minute. Don't be rude in that kind of a stupid way.
She's throwing up the hand signs.
Are you not
I didn't say assing. You misheard me. And what is your point?
She's
what is
trained
your
in these hand signs.
in calling me on saying assing instead of asking because you didn't hear the K? Because I have a bit of a weird accent. What is your point? What are you trying to emphasize by my weird accent that you didn't understand the K because it was a softer K? What is it that you're trying to communicate to your audience by emphasizing that?
It was a joke. If you rewind back, you'll see.
Not funny.
I don't care. You don't know me.
Yeah, but it's not funny. It's rude, and it's an attempt to it's an attempt to demean me. That's laughing at someone. You're attempting to demean me and then laugh at me. That's not joyful laughter. That's not laughing with people. That's an attempt to always put others down and then laugh at them. That's ugly. It makes the world ugly.
She's like putting me down just because I laugh at other people. Why is she making me feel bad because I like to laugh at other people? And why does that make the world ugly? Why does like pretending the world is perfect and beautiful and it being 100% positive and never saying anything negative, like, isn't that kind of unrealistic, Orphan Red?
Ugly. You're making the world ugly by engaging in that kind of humor. That's not even humor. It's just debasing the people around you that you disagree with.
The world isn't perfect in a fucking fantasy princess land, bitch.
Or that threaten your sense of self in some way. That's disgusting.
Very astute of you, Orphan Red.
That's disgusting. Very astute of you, Orphan Red.
Very little.
So you based
judging from this conversation and from the little things that I've seen here and there of you.
Well played.
I don't think that we have very compatible personalities. So I'm here to say, ask me the questions and answer them to the best of my ability. You asked me about Orphan Red, I've answered. You've asked me about Orphan Blue, I've answered. What other questions do you have that you want me to answer?
What other questions?
Well, I didn't have any questions for you, to be honest with you. I was just simply pointing out the fact, Orphan Red, it came up as a part of a joke. Orphan Red is an anagram.
It's not funny. It makes the culture in our community ugly. It makes the culture in the Flat Earth community debased, degrading to us all. It's ugly. You're making our community ugly.
What do you think of Patricia Steer, Orphan Red?
I have no interaction with Patricia Steer.
Am I making it as ugly as other people, for instance?
I have no interaction with Patricia Steer. I don't like her as a person. I don't respect her as a person. And I don't believe in her authenticity.
She's not a woman, is she?
I have no proof either way, so it's not something I can make any statements about.
I want to know your quotes on it, because Antonio Subarat says she's not a woman.
Well, then why don't you ask Antonio Subarat?
He said she's not a woman. I'm asking you.
Well, you're asking me to gossip, right?
No, because if you're standing, I agree with you. Orphan Red, Sasha, I agree with you. This is a true love is about an equal bonding between male and female, right? And first and foremost, everything must begin within. Get yourself straight within. I'm going to ask you, with Flat Earth, what are our origins? Who are you? Where do you come from? What is all this division and this need for unification about? You know, I'm talking in a different sense. When I talked about a man retaining his seminal fluid, there's more to the story than that. This is more than just sex, right? So anyway, this is getting to the heart of matters. I say that all the people that were put onto Flat Earth, the most important realization of our lives, right? It changes absolutely everything. We're all put in place from the get-go. So your opinion on this would be valued, right? If Patricia Steer is a male and she is masquerading as a female, then there's a whole act associated with this, and this is a truth. Flat Earth is all about truth. Love is about truth. Women are about truth. Men are about truth, right? We need to bring all this out. So what do you think?
This is what I think. I don't watch Patricia Steer's shows. I don't watch her shows. I don't care about her. I don't respect her. I don't appreciate the content that she creates. So I don't troll her channel. I don't leave mean comments. I don't try to put her down. I simply don't watch her content. Her content, I feel, has no value for me. I don't need to tear it down. I just don't watch it. This is YouTube. There are other people. Why would I spend my time?
Do you think she's jealous that Mark Sargent gives Patricia more attention than her?
Putting her down when I could be spending that time researching better ideas for how to prove the flat earth. Why would I do that with my time? That would be insane. And secondly, this whole idea of who's a shill? Is she a shill? Oh, she's an agent. She's been put in place. That is ridiculous because number one, you guys aren't really generating much proof either way that's very convincing. I think the best person who did that was the MGTV guy who showed the links to Metatron. I found that very persuasive. But other than that, it doesn't matter if you're an independently thinking individual. It doesn't matter to me if I watch Antonio's videos, right, it doesn't, or let's say if I were to watch Patricia's videos, it doesn't matter.
I'm just getting truth.
No, that's not, no, don't misquote me here.
You're after coming from a massive deception, and you're saying that it doesn't matter about...
That's not what I said. No, stop. Let me correct your misquoting of me. It doesn't matter to me if what Patricia says is right or wrong, because I trust my intelligence and I trust my analytical skills. So whatever she says, I don't just accept with blind faith because, oh, she's Patricia Steer, she's so smart, she's so demure. So I'm not going to trust what she says. I'm going to listen to what people in the flat earth community say, and I'm going to examine it and analyze it and assess it for its validity and truth. So it doesn't matter if someone is an agent, because it doesn't matter, because all that matters is the information that is being given right or wrong. And it's not about trusting someone. It's about evaluating it for yourself.
Forget about that then. Forget about that question. We'll leave that on hold. How far have you come in your flat earth realization, Sasha? In what is it, 3 years now since Mark Sargent clues have come out? How far have you come?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
How much have you developed?
I mean, are you at the dodo yet,
your
bitch?
personal knowledge, your personal understanding of your home.
What do you want, a scale of 1 to 10 or like A to Z?
Scale to 1 to dodo.
Start off, you realized the earth was flat and stationary and unmoving. So how far have you come in terms of fashioning your own picture?
No, I didn't realize that it was all of these things. I found out that there were information that was available that pointed inconsistencies in the standard model. So I didn't realize the earth was flat and then go from there. That's idiotic. I realized that there were inconsistencies in the standard model. And so I started to research them. And the more I looked into it, the more I found these discrepancies in the globe model that invalidated it, that required me as an objective, intelligent, analytical person to reject that model as the true model of Earth because the data didn't fit that model. There were
she never discovered any discrepancies.
Other models that were a better fit. So how far am I? I'm at the point where I say there are these discrepancies in the globe model that require me to reject the globe model because it just doesn't fit the data. It doesn't fit our observational data.
Oh my God.
So what causes the tides, for instance?
I'm a globe rejector.
Well, what do you think causes the tides?
No, I'm asking you first of all. I'll answer you after. You answer me.
What do you think causes the tides?
Are you going to ask me about every single detail?
If you're an intelligent investigator.
He asked her one question, and she's like, "Are you gonna ask me about every single detail? The data doesn't fit." God.
For me, when I look at gravitation and how it works and how the tides work and the salt water and the soft water, when I look at all of this together as a whole, and I dig deeper into it, what I find is that the theory that the moon's gravitation is causing the tides, that doesn't fit the details in the data. So I reject that. I reject the theory that the moon's gravitation is causing the tides. So then what does that mean? That means that then I have to look at what are other plausible scenarios. So I could say, well, I think that there are these models where you look at the diamagnetic properties of salt water in response to, let's say, a very strong earth magnet, right? And you can see that there are effects that we can kind of see a parallel between the tides. So I can say there's a model that describes this phenomenon using electromagnetism, and it seems to provide a plausible explanation. Do I believe that that's true? No, because there isn't enough information about it yet to conclusively prove that that's correct. There is enough information to conclusively prove that the standard theory of the moon's gravitation is incorrect. So I can reject that model, but that doesn't mean that I believe that it's true that the moon is an electromagnetic disk and that the water is moving out from underneath it because it's being repelled by electromagnetism. I don't believe that that's true. I think that that's a very strong avenue for more research, because I think that the truth might be down that path. Yeah. I think we ought to be researching that because we might find the truth down that path. That's the difference, right?
let me give you a pointer in terms of, if you're looking for a pointer, that is. And I take this as a core truth, because the place I received this information was coming from somebody who had absolutely no reason to lie, and he had ultimate experience in the area. He was a ship's navigator for 35 years, and he told me, even though he thought the idea of a flat Earth ridiculous, after all these years on the ocean, that all tides surge from the north. So I take that into
yeah,
my
but that's
record.
one person's hearsay. That's not enough to build a foundation of truth on. That's one person's story. So what you do with that is you say, one person's story, okay, that sounds interesting. Then you actually have to go and collect more information and see if there's anything that bears that out. You can't just say, oh, the water flows from the north, therefore there's this mysterious land in the north that has these whirlpools, creates the tides. That's nonsense. You have to collect more information.
So hopefully True's just saying in chat, ask her how she heard Pete had done the anagram of her name, please.
Because I was doing something else, and I had YouTube on, and I just searched Flat Earth just to have a live hangout just to see what's going on, and I heard him say, oh, Orphan Red is an anagram for hardy porn.
It is.
And I had heard it before. I had heard it somewhere before. Someone else
Well,
was
there's another anagram that somebody's come up with.
I don't care to hear it. I don't care to hear it.
But Sasha, you heard it from
Again,
me before.
see, you're laughing. You find that funny. You find it funny to demean people.
We can laugh at dick jokes, right? We don't mind laughing. I have a sense of humor. I don't mean to
That's
offend you
not funny.
personally.
You're laughing at people. You're laughing at the demeaning of other individual human beings. Where's your sense of the sacredness and the respect of human individuality? It's not funny to put people down and laugh at them. That's not funny.
You won't, if you're trying to sort of guilt me into something, you won't do that, Sasha.
I'm not trying to guilt you. I'm trying to point out.
That reminds me of like Chris Farley. I seen an interview where like I don't know, you guys remember Chris Farley? Maybe I'm he was on Saturday Night Live when I was growing up, but they were talking about, or Chris Farley was doing an interview, and he was talking about how the teachers at like parent-teacher conferences were like concerned about him and told his parents, they're like, the children aren't laughing with Chris, they're laughing at him, because he was doing like self-deprecating humor. I don't know. This is what Orphan Red reminded me of. But like, I don't understand why she has just like such this huge problem with like laughing at people. Like, comedy is really sad now, where it's like people are afraid to offend people, but a lot of the great comedians back in the day were like extremely offensive. Like, look at like Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy, or like Andrew Dice Clay would be an extreme example of like insult comedy. But now, because we're in this like PC culture where they're trying to control free speech, they're trying to say like, oh, you can't insult people anymore. And Orphan Red is either like a programmed tool idiot, or she's part of like some Masonic lodge and she's here to like brainwash us and indoctrinate us. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
My fellow man, right? Now, if you were playing a part,
Clearly you don't.
if you were playing a part, you see, you'd have difficulty answering the question I asked you, Patricia, wouldn't you?
I have no difficulty answering these questions because I'm an intelligent individual. Just because I don't conform to what you think I ought to do with my YouTube channel, when you don't even have a significant YouTube channel, then what the hell makes you the authority on what I ought to do with my channel in order to achieve my goals? You don't even.
This is like, she's so hypocritical. She's like, what makes you the authority to tell me what to do? She's been sitting here this entire time trying to fucking guilt trip and manipulate these people into like controlling their behavior. Oh, your chat's so offensive. Oh, stop insult comedies. You're laughing at me. That's ugly. You're making the world ugly and promoting the rape culture.
Know what my goals are for my channel. How dare you impose your goals on me and make me have to do your job, have to do what you believe I should do.
Throwing up the hand
Otherwise,
signs.
you demean me, you degrade me, you insult me, you complain about me. You're not in a position to tell me what to do with my channel. You're not my boss.
If that's what I'm doing, man, that's fair enough. I can't help you with that. Obviously,
I'm not looking for your help with that because you are not in a position to offer me help with that.
I'm not in a position to offer anybody help. All there is me.
So then why are you criticizing me if you're not in a position to do any better? Why are you criticizing me? You have no authority to criticize me.
So I can't talk about it. So for instance, me and Jamie were having a conversation about Patricia Steer and ramshackle vaginas. I couldn't have that conversation.
But you will respect me.
It's not about can't. It's about what kind of person you are. You're not a nice person. And you're not making flat earth culture any better by demeaning others and mocking others in order to laugh at them. That's not making the flat earth community better. So all you're doing is making the flat earth community such a shitty community that all the nice women leave and the only thing you have left are witchy women and men like you who enjoy putting other people down. And then that community is not inviting to kind, warm, intelligent, analytical people. So you're just letting all the bad people come in and you're pushing all the good people out. And then you wonder if the community is so divided.
Said all this, I assume the Jets get the community. Said all of this. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Did you, Sash?
I don't know.
You're all a big little team. You're fooling me.
How am I fooling you? I'm being direct and I'm being honest. What am I doing that's fooling you? If you're smart, then I can't fool you. You'll be able to you asked me to listen up. I don't want this.
Stay out of the town.
I am who I am. If you don't like me, then go to someone else.
I've answered every question
I've been asked. I've answered every question.
Let your hair ring. Let your hair ring. Let your hair ring. Let your hair ring.
John, can you go on mute?
Like, I don't need this kind of
She comes on here shouting, giving it all that, she's doing crap.
You think I'm a joker because you're too stupid to be able to discern the truth or knowledge, so all you do is you trust people, and then when you find out that they were lying to you, then you're all angry with all the women. You're not smart enough. All you do is because you can't trust your intelligence.
You're an
idiot.
Don't take much
I have no time for idiots like you. I have no time for that kind of stupidity. That people are looking for others to tell them the revelation. If you can't figure it out by yourself, you just trust with blind faith, then you don't deserve the truth. Because you can't figure it out for yourself.
Crystal bodies of water are flat. That is
don't be so stupid. That's a slogan. That's not true. That's a slogan. That's not even thinking. You're not even thinking. You're not reasoning. All you're doing is repeating.
And go on mute, please. Let me finish my conversation with
No, John, this is stupid. If you're if these people are just slogans, they're not even thinking. They're just trusting slogans that someone on YouTube told them. That's idiotic. And I don't think that's with my time than argue with someone who believes in slogans, for fuck's sake.
Listen, right? I am my own man here. I'm not affiliated or associated with anybody. When I have conversations with Jamie, I have conversations with Jamie. Everyone speaks for themselves as far as I'm concerned. You know very little about me. Fair enough, being reacting to something that I have said, but I have said it for a reason. And also we understand the suspicious nature of this arena. If we're being misled, right, then we need to know about it, right? Because we come from a whole realm of misleading.
You can't be misled. If you're evaluating information on its own merits, you cannot be misled. If someone says to you, this is true, it's up to you to figure out whether that's true or not. It's not up to you to blind faith say, oh, that must be true because Patricia Steer said it's true. And then you find out she's an agent, and then you're all angry. Oh, these agents have lied to me. Well, that's your own bloody fault because you should have done the research and figured out for yourself whether they were true or not.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. And this is the point
So then it doesn't matter if people are agents or not. What matters is whether you take the time to figure out what you believe because you think it's true, because you've proven it to yourself, not because Patricia Steer told you it's true.
Thank you, Sasha, because you support my position exactly. There's
So
only
then
one
why are you asking me if I'm an agent? Why are you're saying, oh, Orphan Red porn, whatever it is you're trying to say. What does that matter? What matters is the information.
Okay, is it a possibility? Hang on. Is it a possibility?
Much better.
Hang on, John. Can you please go on, John? Is it a possibility that I am playing a part?
Yes.
Is it a possibility that you are playing a part?
If that's how you think of things, then yes, it's a possibility that we're all playing a part, that nobody is a real person.
Okay. So if I believe it's important to find out if somebody I would respect otherwise is playing a part. So in other words, if I found out they were
But it doesn't matter. Is it about the person or is it about the information? What are you trying to figure out? Whether the information is true, and that's on you to do your own research and your own thinking. Or are you trying to figure out if the person is true? Because the fact is, you don't have a personal relationship with me. I am on YouTube, you watch my video. You're not here. You're not going to date me. You're not going to be my best friend. So what does it matter about who?
I'll still date you, Orphan. I'm pretty
with
desperate.
Who's an agent? What should matter to you is the information valid? And that doesn't matter if you're an agent. What that matters is use your intelligence and verify the information for yourself.
Okay, so anyway, listen, this is the offhand way.
I'll date you, but I'll hate myself for it.
So the last video I saw of yours, I noticed that the dodo, in terms of the frisbee,
I need to get laid.
I don't know what the dodo is. You keep saying the dodo, and I've said it twice now and in chat. I don't know what you're talking to about the dodo.
Hang on, please. Well, hang on.
Take care of my needs.
I have a whole story about the dodo. So maybe you should take, if you want to, pay some attention. Maybe not. Maybe not, because it's.
Can you just summarize it? Because it's 10 to 5 here.
Okay, well, that's the only reason I brought it up in the first place. You turn to Gleason's map, so Australia's at the bottom. You have a dodo. That's your clue, Sasha. That's the only point. I brought up the dodo on your wall, and then I said, isn't it? I remembered, Orphan Red is an anagram of hard porn. That's all. I was going to leave it there. So there was no judgment.
That's demeaning and degrading, and there's no. Why would you even say that on my wall? What's the point of your disgusting mind? Your disgusting mind. No, again, you could have come up with a positive anagram. You could have found a positive word in that, but instead, your perverted mind looks for dirtiness, and you find dirtiness, and when you can't, you kind of massage things so that it comes out as dirtiness, and then you put it on my wall. How does that make the community better? How does that make more truth? You putting hardy porn. How does that make Flat Earth more true that you're putting hardy porn on my wall? How does that make Flat Earth more acknowledged by the mainstream? How does that help?
Hang on.
By writing the word hardy porn on my wall, how does that help?
So how does it help by putting a porn on
I'm not talking to you, John. I'm not talking to you.
I'm talking to you. How does it help?
I'm not talking to you. I won't listen to you either. I'm not listening to you. I'm not talking to you. I will leave the call. I will leave the call if you just keep shouting at me. No, I'm leaving the call if you keep this up.
Right, okay. Okay, man.
I'm done.
Okay.
It's nice to talk to you, Dodo.
Hang on a minute. Listen. Okay, there you go. Anyway.
She's come on here screaming and shouting blah blah. She is an agent.
John, I asked you to stay out of it, didn't I?
Yeah, no,
now they yell at each other.
I asked you to stay out of it.
So precious.
You have no right to come in here screaming at somebody. You have no right.
You have no right, John. You have no right.
No, excuse me. You had no right to come on there and do whatever you had.
Why not? Why not? I was part of when you done it. I was on the hangout when you done it and said.
No right to do that. You entered a conversation. I don't know what happened.
Why have I not? Why have I not, Pete? I asked questions.
Why have I not? You're right.
I asked questions.
I ask questions.
You just came in.
I should ask her. Why didn't you answer that you had said that? I just happened to be listening. Yeah, sure she was.
It doesn't matter. I have a different way of asking questions. I have a different way of asking questions. Man, you keep talking as well. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know. Why didn't you confront her, Pete?
Right,
you know,
because I had a different... If you listened, I had a different way of approaching it, and her answer alone regarding Patricia Steer being a male was very telling, right?
It was very telling.
Well, she never confronted that.
It's part and parcel.
Right, it doesn't. Right, but what am I going to say to myself? Right, I'm going to interrogate this, but I don't give a shit what Sasha thinks. So
no, but you could have asked her. How did she find out?
Have you ever spoken to her before?
Yes, I have. And I used to like her at first, and then I found out that she
I didn't know that, you see. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I've spoken to her many times. She's very rude.
And I don't have any disrespect for her. I think at core what she's saying is correct, right? But I'm being bunched in. Hang on, I'm being bunched in. I don't mind this as well, but I'm being bunched in with people I have no right to be bunched in. I don't know anything about you, John. I know very little about Jamie. I'm my own man. So what's going on in chat, I'm not looking at it. I just have the Google Hangouts here. So I'm being directed. I'm being directed. Yeah, all anger has been directed at me, right? But that's fine. I still stand by the same thing. Orphan Red is an anagram of hard e-porn.
So and it's also, someone said in chat that pre-hard on.
Pre-hard on. Subscribe. Pre-hard on in chat.
Well, probably because I was like
subscribe to my channel,
doing the voice and all that stuff, and
I don't know.
Saying stuff to demean her.
Look at Jamie.
That wasn't the case.
Yeah, that was.
She got told and informed, you know, and you can see the way she's
saying stuff to demean her.
And I can see you were trying to do things a certain way, but she's coming in labeling.
Saying stuff to demean her.
Out the truth, but John, I have never spoken to her before, and I sort of offer respect to pretty much everyone for the.
Bitch,
you're so stuck. You're so dated.
Yeah, apparently.
You're so stuck in the past.
So I've heard that you don't want Orphan Red here. You want Sasha. No laughing allowed.
We were criticizing her annoying laugh.
Oh, that's nice.
Me and Tim. Osman.
I think P. Mars would like to speak to you. He's got a lot of opinions about you.
I'm too shy.
I'm too shy to talk to girls.
They don't like the ditzy personality, but if I'm aggressively intelligent, then I'm a bitch. So I find that a very interesting choice.
I would
aggressively intelligent, but hated for being a bitch. Or you can be a ditzy.
She's like, I'm not a bitch, I'm aggressively intelligent. What the fuck?
On, but everyone laughs at. But there's nothing else. There are no other choices. I find
lamest.
You can't even. You can't even.
No, we can't.
Talk about pretentious.
You for your pretensions, Tim. We know that you're pretentious. We'll forgive you, but only for tonight.
Yeah, Sasha Red would be the definition of pretentious. Or Sasha Red.
As you just put it.
Orphan Red. Sasha.
No, I wouldn't say so either.
Fierce.
Gotcha. Validation boys in the chat want a link too.
Aye. Fire it to him, man.
Yeah.
Fire it to him. Unless, aye.
So, Jen, how are you doing? Are you excited for 2018?
I am. I'm very excited. I'm not excited. I'm
2018.
I created this shitty hanger tonight to even talk about it.
Yeah, but you're doing a flat Earth. You're kind of talking a lot about flat Earth.
Have I talked about
sorry,
flat
I'm not
Earth?
supposed to laugh.
It's
You had a little bit.
I'm not supposed to laugh.
Well, let it pass.
So Sasha, do you think people like P. Mars and Tim are intimidated by your intelligence? And
we're intimidated by your intelligence.
I think that they don't know how to interact with intelligent females, and I think that especially intelligent females who have larger breasts and who have a personality that's more cheerful and friendly. I think that they like intelligent females that are very much like a dyke, because then they can aggressively argue with her by trying to cut her down because of her lack of femininity. And I think that they like ditzy, moronic girls because then they can fuck them while laughing at how stupid the girl is. I don't think they really know how to deal with women like me, so I think it makes them insecure, and so then they get more mean because that's the only thing that they can do. They try to be cruel because they try to push me down to their level. But like, it's not possible for me to sink to their level because they're just so low. So it's just very sad. It's very sad. Sometimes I feel pity, but not a lot of pity. Because I think if you want to be interesting to a woman like me, then you do it by becoming a better man. Not by playing poker all day and trolling on the internet. You actually have to develop a personality. You have to develop interests and passions and be a kind human being. That's how you get an intelligent, attractive woman. Not by moaning, oh, girls are so bitchy, girls are so slutty. That's not how you get a woman. If you want a proper woman, you have to be a proper man. You have to be deserving of a proper woman. And these
women, these modern women, don't get that, like, they like, see, this is where, like, women don't take responsibility for anything they do. That's an issue. That's, like, a pretty common trait. And that's why, like, they never really improve, because they don't work on any of their weaknesses, because they can't see their own weaknesses due to pride. So Sasha is a prime example of this. What was I saying? I lost my fucking train of thought. No! Damn it! What was she talking about?
Know how to deal with women like me, so I think it makes them insecure, and so then they get more mean because that's the only thing that they can do. They try to be cruel because they try to push me down to their level.
So like, there's something that's arised, right? Like MGTOW, men going their own way, where men are just like, wow, fuck women, and women, instead of taking responsibility and looking like, wow, what is so fucked up about women that has created this MGTOW thing? Because, like, honestly, men love women, like, naturally. They're naturally just, like, women don't really have to do anything. Men are just naturally drawn to them. So, like, yeah, you should ask yourself, like, what is going on with women that men are, like, so, like, something has to be really fucked up for men to be repulsed by your pussy. So, and I think it's like the way women behave, honestly, nowadays. Well, and the problem is, like, women don't need a man now because of the social welfare state. It's removed most of the role of men in society, so there's no need for a man. And then the women they've tipped the balance of power between the sexes. There used to be more balance, like men needed women and women needed men, and now it's just men need women and women don't need men, and it's created an imbalance which the powers that be are taking advantage of to their own ends. For, like, I mean, there's, like, numerous advantages for this, like, so what the fuck was I saying? Fucking too stoned, dude. Yeah, so, like, instead of women taking, like, instead of Orphan Red looking at herself and being like, what is it about women that has caused men to act like this? They just immediately blame the men. And men aren't perfect. Like, men are pretty fucked up too. But it's like, you're not allowed to criticize women, and you're allowed to just, like, talk hellish shit about white men because of the fucking programming and brainwashing in our society. So I like to resist that. I kind of like, it's like, I'm the type of, I guess reverse psychology would work on me, right? Because, like, if you tell me not to do something, I'll do it. And so that's why, like, lately I've been more offensive. Like, I'll say faggot and nigger because I am against political correctness and the fact that these PC people like Orphan Red are becoming very prevalent, and this is becoming, like, this common attitude, and people think it's okay. It's like, I'm more resistant to that, where, like, I feel like I have to say, part of me feels like I have to be as offensive and use free speech as much as I can now, because I could see it, this is the beginning stages of it going away. So I don't know, I think it's insane to, like, try to make people feel bad for, like, who cares for people to be so sensitive. Like, it's okay if someone else offends you, you know, it's not the end of the world. I don't understand, like, they're trying to push this, like, I read all these, like, articles about how bullying will lead to someone, like a child, killing themselves, so they're gonna, like, ban bullying in school or something. And then Candy Franklin was giving me shit. She's like, oh, you're making fun of people, and what if someone kills themselves someday? Like, what if Orphan Red kills herself because I made this video? Like, I don't know. I don't even think I would really care. Like, I don't think she killed herself because I made this video. She probably killed herself because she's weak and she's fucked up. And a lot of the reason that people are in that situation is because, like, society's fucked up and it leaves them vulnerable. And, like, if you look back in the 80s, how they're blaming heavy metal music with, like, messages for people to kill themselves. Combine that with the fact that we know there's a depopulation agenda. They've been talking about it openly for years. So I would think that they're using the mind control propaganda techniques to manipulate people into killing themselves. And, like, for me to assume guilt over that because, like, I have a sense of humor and I want to, like, insult you or offend you or make it, like, get real. Like, if you can't make it through being bullied at school, which, by the way, everyone gets bullied at school, then, like, you're not cut out for life. Like, life doesn't get easier when you leave school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna just kill yourself anyways at some other point if you're that weak. So it's just like weeding out the weak people in our society. I don't know. I'm starting to become, like, pretty callous because I just see, like, a lot of, I guess I see a lot of evil. I guess I'm a negative person and I see a lot of evil people. Evil in people. I don't see a lot of the good. But and that's because, like, I know that we're brainwashed to think positively. Like Orphan Red, she keeps talking about, oh, be positive, you're you're sponsoring an ugly culture. I don't know, it's just like, I hate Orphan Red. she's totally psycho too. She started talking about Islam here at one point, and, like, she was bringing up how she always brings up about how women are oppressed and stuff. She's totally psycho. I don't know. Is there anything
But, like,
more I really want to play of this?
It's not possible for me to sink to their level because they're just so low. So it's just very sad. It's very sad. Sometimes I feel pity, but not a lot of pity. Because I think if you want to be interesting to a woman like me, then...
This thing, she's, like, not considering that maybe men aren't interested. Like, she can't... Like, to me, like, I am not, like, I'm physically attracted to women, but then, like, I get to know them, and there's nothing. I hate them. I mean, I don't really like men either, you know. So, like, that's why I just kind of isolate myself and I go crazy because I'm isolated, and, like, humans are social animals, and, like, I have to, like, learn how to live by myself. But I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, I've lived with a woman for 2 years and I felt lonely, like, the whole time. Like, she would watch fucking soap operas and WWE. Like, it's pretty hard for me to connect to anyone because, like, I'm pretty unique because I'm an individual. Like, I've tried not to just, like, follow a group, and I've tried to think for myself, and I'm not really worried about what other people think. And it's like, people aren't as strong as me. Like, they're really weak. Like, once they're confronted with the bitter loneliness of being a truth seeker, they quickly, you know, join there's, like, truth seeker groups, right? But, like, all those groups are bullshit because, like, every truth seeker group I've been a part of since, like, 2004 or whatever, it's like, I'll be telling the truth and the group gets pissed at me because the groups are always led by these people who are just trying to commercialize conspiracy theories and take advantage of, like, lonely people that are looking for a purpose in life and stuff. So they don't like people that point shit like that out and tell the truth. So there's really not a lot of options for individuals who are seeking the truth. You're just kind of screwed. You just kind of just have to live in your own head, I guess, and just like there's no real point in even like talking to other people, I don't think. So I don't know, man. I'm just personally like I'll try and date or whatever, just like because I believe like never giving up, but like I don't know, I'm 36 years old and I really don't like, and now I'm starting to think like I don't even want to probably have children anyways, because like I like kids and I'd like to have a family, but like my kids are gonna be fucking indoctrinated and brainwashed by the new world order. I'm gonna be like worried about them all the time. Like I'm gonna have to homeschool. It's gonna be so much work. I'm gonna have to homeschool them. You know, I wouldn't let them watch television. Wouldn't let them listen to music. You know, like I don't know maybe I'd let them play like old school Nintendo or something. I wouldn't let them play any modern fucking games though. That's for sure. Like they would think my kids would hate me. Like, but I'd be doing it because I know all that shit is bad and it's programming them, and I don't want like I would want to raise some like individually minded, you know, smart children that are badass that would be beneficial to the world, I think. But I don't know, kind of at this point I'm just like, man, fuck the world. Like I think I've done more than my share of like trying to make things better, and I don't know, like it's pretty hard. I can't really compete with like the rulers have all these like technology available to them to manipulate thousands of people's minds, and that's the name of the game. It's not like it's all about like you know, Alex Jones, the info war. It's a war of like people's minds. That's what, like, even like in Vietnam, they lost Vietnam because they lost people's minds in America. People lost support for the war. I don't know. So yeah, things are pretty bleak. I don't know. I don't see like the way to happiness for me, I guess, like, you know, indulging in pussy or drugs or anything like that. I think just like trying to be the best person I can be, and like telling the truth, I guess. I take enjoyment if I could do anything to piss off these like people who've enslaved me and my family and everyone. It kind of they piss me off, so I guess I take enjoyment. Like I take more enjoyment in fighting them. Like I'd be like fucking a girl and I'd be like trying to wake her up to 9/11 at the same time, like while I'm fucking her. Like that's the kind of person I am. So I don't know. I just think like people are really weak. Like they're controlled by passions. Like I was learning about like, yeah, like I learned something about history about they would like I was looking at like alpha male, beta male videos yesterday, and because I think psychology is kind of interesting, and they were saying like alpha males don't like let their passions control them, and they live like a balanced life or something like, but they will indulge, you know, and enjoy things. But like a beta male gets obsessed by like passions or like drinking or sex or something, and like that's a way they're easily controlled. So I've been thinking about that, and like yeah, it's a really good if you can balance out and not like let the I mean I think it's good to indulge and have fun in life and stuff, but there's like, it definitely, like, you can let it get out of hand. Like, if you indulge too much in food, it could kill you, you know, and stuff like that. Like, I was just doing that recently. I was getting fat as shit and drinking all the time, and like, I didn't care about, like, I just wanted to die, because it sucks, man, being isolated, and then like my mom dies, and it's like I have nothing in life and shit, and it's really hard. And then I could see where it's easy to join a cult, you know, because it offers a lot of the things that family offers, and it's easy, like, artificial replacement to like a real family. But I don't know, just do the best you can, I guess, and then I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just blabbling. Anyways, Orphan Red sucks.